and welcome back to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Lindsay. My co-host right here is Kyle Heath. This is the show where we cover this week's gaming industry-related news. Today, we're going to be covering a little bit of Electronic Arts (EA) CEO talking about the short-term impact of the actor strikes that are going on. A little bit of Bungie news, which is always exciting for me because I'm a huge Halo nerd and I also like Destiny. I know you probably feel the same way too, Kyle. A little bit of AI news from Activision Blizzard, and then just a general state of the gaming industry, along with August new and upcoming games. But to start off, Kyle, how you been, dude? What have you been up to?
I've been chilling, dude. Been chilling, dude. Had a little nice week out, little vacation, so that was fun.
Oh yeah,
Got to see
I
you in
got to see
person.
you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was
In
like,
person was a
had
good
a good
time.
time. Hmm.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of the boys too. So it was always nice, dude. It's been I know it's been a minute. I was like thinking back. I was like, I can't remember the last time I think in person I saw everyone. I feel like it was like maybe like at the HCS event
Years.
last year. Like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, like
So, I
HCS Charlotte, right?
think so.
Raleigh.
Which was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what, February of last year. So yeah, it's been a while.
It was last year. It was 2023.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
long time
crazy.
ago.
Sure was.
Mm.
So that was fun. That was awesome. Yeah, dude. Outside of that, I don't know. I mean, especially with that trip going on, I don't know if I got a chance to play anything this week. At least this past week, I don't think I really had a chance to play anything. I was also celebrating,
Bummer, dude.
birthday stuff and whatnot. So that was fun. But um, yeah, and I like realized today too, like last week would have been the perfect time to wear the annual birthday hat because I always wear that like the week of the whatever podcast we record. I'll wear that. But you forgot last week. But, you know, it is
It's
what
all
it
good
is,
though.
dude. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Outside of that, not really too much else. Just kind of life stuff. Just having fun with the boys. But
Heck yeah, dude.
I know you, Mike. I know you've been playing stuff. I know you've been playing stuff last night. I saw. So what
Yeah.
have you been playing?
Did you actually see my status of all the different games I was jumping through?
Yeah, dude. I saw you finally getting to it.
Yeah, basically I've been playing OG Halo 2 on the original Xbox. I've been playing regular Halo 2 on the PC. I played some Counter-Strike. Good, like I think I played like 5 ranked games over the course of this like last handful of days. Those games go for a while too because they're
Yeah.
pretty competitive. Not competitive as in good, just evenly matched. Because like
Right.
I'm trash. I think I'm like gold or something. I'm not good. So I haven't played first person shooters like Counter Strike in a long time. Playing that a little bit, that's been a good time. Then I think the biggest one is I started off by playing Firewatch, the game that
Oh,
came out in
okay.
2016.
Yeah.
I
Good
probably
one.
put like 2 hours into it, and apparently it's a 4 hour game, so I assume I'm halfway through.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was pretty cool to see. It was a lot of fun, just to play something new. I told you last week's episode that I'm finally gonna have a moment to play games again.
Yeah.
So I'm just overall excited. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's pretty much it, dude. Like, I guess the other one is I've been working on compiling some stats over the last like couple of Halo Infinite tournaments because they're on Prize Picks or a bunch of different websites where you can do sports betting for esports.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, let me get in on this. And then, yeah, I mean, that's really it.
Yeah.
Not really too much outside of that.
Yeah.
My goal is to finish up Firewatch and then start knocking down some other lists. Like I still have Diablo 4 I need to finish. I need to finish Cyberpunk. Mortal Kombat's on the list. I think with like more time that I have now, I'm like way less stressed. I'll probably get back to streaming again, doing the multi-platform. Just like the games that I'm playing. Anytime I play, I'm just gonna go live again. Not
Yeah.
really stressed about it too much.
Yeah, for
Bro, I
sure.
played Halo 2 for like 5 hours 2 days
It's
ago.
a grind, baby. Let's go. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's like I have the Xbox out in the living room now, so I'm just like I want to get
Yeah.
use out of it. So I'm definitely probably gonna look and see, Game Pass wise if there's like anything kind of, or
Mhm.
just some games to kind of download and play, take advantage of that. So I definitely want to look
Yeah,
into that.
there's actually a lot of games coming out that we're gonna cover, that are coming out on the console as well, and they're gonna be perfect for like sitting down and watching. Like at the end of the month, August 30th, Star Wars Outlaws is gonna be out, and regardless, I'm probably gonna play it,
Yeah.
regardless of the situation, what it is. So August
Yeah.
30th that comes out, and it's gonna be on Xbox Series X. So
Yeah.
that's a couch sitter, I think.
Yeah, that'd be a really good couch sitter, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like I've been like spending more time sort of like if I'm not working, like I've been spending more time like in the living room, whether it's like watching something or
Yeah,
playing something. Like it's just kind of like the
just
separation. I feel
enjoying your
like
time off, kind of
yeah,
thing.
just kind of like the separation from work kind of thing. It's kind of an extra layer. I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely gonna obviously I'll back on the PC again eventually, but when it's kind of just right now, it's like yeah, it's been my way of chilling. So yeah, definitely looking for
Yeah, I
stuff
mean,
to pop on the console. So I'm gonna be keeping my eye out for that kind of stuff. But yeah, dude, we're we're looking good, looking good. Actually, it's funny. I talked to a coworker today who cause like he plays some video games too, and I haven't like spoken with him about video games in a minute, but he said he asked me if I had played Elden Ring at all, and I was like, oh no, I
oh
haven't.
wow,
And he's like not a coworker. Like he's the type of person I would not expect to like a game like Elden Ring, but he's like, dude, it's like easily been one of my favorite games right now, and I got through the DLC. I was like, dang, dude, okay,
nice.
like really likes the game. So I'm like,
The
it's like
man's grinding.
it's one of those things. I'm just like, dude, maybe I need to like play Elden Ring. Like it's one of those games I'm gonna eventually have to play it. I feel like,
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine
um,
that's he actually just moved to Charlotte, and we've been meaning to spend some time together.
yeah.
And uh, but one of the things he kept asking me to do is play Elden Ring for months, and I still haven't played it. And now he's
Yeah.
like, now he's in my city, dude. He's gonna bring it up all the time. It's like
Yeah.
I can't escape it. I got to get started,
Oh yeah,
or
for
else he's gonna
sure.
come after me, man.
Yeah, dude. Telling you, there's like it's one of those games I have to add to my list, but who knows when I'll get to it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
tough, tough.
All right, dude. How about we start jumping into the news?
I think so, dude. I think so. I think we just gotta jump right in, Mike.
Let's
Listen,
hop into it.
we gotta
What
talk
are you
about
starting us off with, dude?
we gotta talk about some EA, right? EA, and more particularly about some video game strikes that are going on because there are some more actors from video games going on strike right now. So this article actually comes from IGN's Rebecca Valentine. Covered her many times on the show. EA CEO says video game actor strikes won't have a short-term impact on the company. Live service games and anything in development before September of 2023 are not impacted. So let's get into the detail. What's exactly these EA CEOs talking about? Because we need some context here. So, video game actors are currently on strike in hopes that withholding their work from video game companies will push those companies to agree to better actor protections around the use of AI. However, at least one video game CEO, Andrew Wilson of Electronic Arts, doesn't think the strike is going to impact his company, at least in the short term. In today's EA earnings call, Wilson answered a question from an investor about the impact of the strike on the business. Put simply, he's not worried for now. Here's the full quote. He said, I quote, "We deeply value our talented actors who are an important part of the work we do to deliver the incredible entertainment experiences that our players enjoy around the world. We're working very closely. This is not an EA specific situation. This is an industry specific situation. And we're working diligently to negotiate at the table. The way it works now in terms of our product specifically is that the strike is limited to games commencing production after September of 2023, including live service games. So we don't expect any near-term disruption to any of the games we have in development or any of the live services we currently run. That being said, we're committed to continuing to bargain in good faith and are hopeful that the parties can expeditially expedite. Well, yeah, it's the way he says it. Expeditiously. I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
Expeditely. It's such a weird way of I don't know. Whatever. They just want to resolve the issues at the bargaining table in a quick and timely manner. You know what I'm saying? So we're not anticipating any significant short-term impact at EA. So saying like, listen, we're good over here. You know what I'm saying? At least
That's
for
what
the
it
short
sounds
term. We don't need like long term, maybe a different story.
Flames long.
But hey, right now, we're good. So Wilson's confidence likely comes to the fact that EA's portfolio is almost entirely live service games right now, and games whose development began prior to September 2023. So basically, every live service game are not impacted by the strike. It says the company's $1.26 billion in net bookings for the quarter was driven by Madden NFL 24, FIFA or FC Mobile, and FC Online, all live service games, and the rest of its coming physical year in a much the same. Because if you think about it, what's coming out next year or very recent or like very soon? Madden NFL 25, EA Sports FC 25, NHL 25, and so on. The Sims 4 and College Football 25 also unaffected. So I mean, there's mainline titles right there. main live
Yeah, those
service
are basically the main EA moneymakers.
It's true. So it's one single player offering. Dragon Age Veilguard is also fine, and while it's impossible to speak to EA's release slate further out, it's probably a safe bet that next year's release slate likely looks a lot like this year's, and it's entirely populated by games that have been in development for 3, 4, 5, or more years. EA, at least, is in a position to weather the storm for a long time. So, a couple paragraphs left. Close out this article. So, what Wilson doesn't mention is how this will impact the company in the long term. The longer the strike goes, more in progress games will be impacted. Any game the studio greenlit after September 2023 is going to be slowed down if no SAG voice actors will touch it, and this will impact EA's plans for 2026, 27, and so on. So while short-term impacts won't be felt, it's possible the strike will start to have effects we'll see years down the road, especially if a contract is not agreed on soon. SAG-AFTRA officially called a video game actors strike late last week, beginning at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, July 26th. The union has been unable to come to an agreement with video game companies on a new contract for 18 months, and AI protections being the primary sticking point of negotiations. The union has announced it will hold its first strike picket on Thursday, August 1st at WB Games. We wrote a detailed guide to what the SAG-AFTRA video game strike means for everyday gamers on IGN. So if you want to go, let's try and find that on IGN's website. That'll be there. This thing, like, no short-term losses to foresee here, but I mean, depending on how long this goes. I mean, you know how long some of these strikes go to, Mike. We're talking months in some cases.
Yeah.
There's just no
Some
agreement.
go even
And so it's
I think
like,
rarely it kind of lasts about a year, but
yeah,
when it gets to that level, it's something bad happened.
right.
I think.
It's like, yeah, I mean, but considering this, if this thing does last months, I mean, there's definitely going to be some delays in the next few years. So, but hey, I mean, I think any protections get against AI, I mean, makes certainly makes gives more job security to actors, which I think is probably more prominent than ever as a necessity,
Yeah.
especially with these AI tools coming out and everything. So it's
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
one of the other things is too is like with the CEO of EA coming out and saying this, and it's mostly being said to like calm the shareholders a little bit, but at the same time, this could be used as like fuel to the fire of the strike that's going on at EA.
Yeah.
Of like, oh look, the CEO doesn't seem to take our threat seriously,
Yeah.
and and then all of a sudden you got everybody else just like, let's sit out even longer,
Yeah.
and then just keep doing this over and over again.
Yep.
Um, we'll see how it really like develops, but yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you just lay off a bunch of people. Like you don't care. It's the people that are left behind are like, these guys don't care about us. We should do something about this,
We
and then
should,
come after you.
get some leverage. It's so true though.
Exactly.
Like,
Bargaining chips.
like for real. And it's like, I mean, that's exactly what I think is gonna happen. It's like they're gonna see these comments from the CEO and be like, okay, maybe we should change our, our requests and maybe,
Yeah.
go a little harder and just, not settle. I think it's kind of the main thing. So yeah, dude, I think it's a bold statement from the EA CEO here. But I mean, there's certainly some levers on his side from live service games, but I mean, if I'm on strike, if I'm part of the Actors Guild, I'm just gonna be like, all right, bet, like,
Yeah,
let's go, let's get
100%.
at it,
It's
because
like, oh, we're doing this. Okay, let's
and
go.
the longer we hold out, more your titles are just gonna suffer in the long term.
Yeah, you're gonna
So
learn today.
that's what I'm saying. Um, yeah, they mentioned the article also mentioned Dragon Age Veilguard too, which is like the new Dragon Age game coming out, and
Yeah, that's we saw an article about that. I don't know if this is what you're about to say, but
yeah,
how much dialogue is going to be
that's
on
right.
this
Yeah,
game?
exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, there's an
It's a
article
lot of work.
we didn't cover. But it is an article. It said there was over 140,000 lines of dialogue in that game. So it's no small feat. But it seems like
No.
I think for the most part, it's all. I mean, that's mostly finished now. It's kind of just in the final stages. But I know that was also the trailer that was like most Dragon Age fans saw it at Summer Games Fest, and they were just kind of like, "This is Dragon Age." Like it just didn't. It played like a Fortnite trailer almost. It's like really
Yeah.
odd. So I don't
Caught
know.
everybody off guard. Maybe
Yeah.
they're trying to attract like another audience or something.
Yeah, maybe, but I still thought it was so funny. It's like every time I think of that game now, I'm just gonna think back to that initial reaction to the trailer because it was funny, the memes and everything.
Yeah, like,
Um,
who?
yeah, but yeah, dude, this is a I don't know, interesting development. It's it's crazy to think it seems like it was just yesterday we were having there was that Screen Actors Guild strike, the writer strike across like TVs and movies, and we there was rumors it was going to start leaking into video games, and here we are. We have actors in video games now doing the same thing, so it's I guess it's sort of no surprise, but yeah, we're getting back to back strikes here, so
Yeah, it's just I could have seen it coming on the horizon. Just that many layoffs, that many
yeah,
people getting let go. They're gonna form a union probably. This
yeah.
happens like every single time. It's like everybody gets fired, then they up your hours, don't pay you for those extra hours, and then everybody looks around and is just like, wait, they need us more than we need them. And then all of a sudden there's a union.
Man,
Like that's how it goes.
yeah, it's like you don't make me. All right, the hell with that. I'm starting a guild, or I'm starting a
Yeah.
thing. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, but yeah, here's a hoping agreement could be met soon, rather than later. And just from a consumer perspective, I mean, then again, it's EA, so like, I mean, I don't play too many EA games myself, so I probably won't be as impacted as other people. But I mean, who knows what they're coming out with the next few years? So I think regardless,
Yeah.
just for consumers' sake, you'd hope it comes to agreement. But I I hope actors don't settle and they get what they feel they deserve because you know they're what make the
Yeah.
games possible. So
I'm right there with you on that belief or that viewpoint.
yeah, I'm telling you, it's a crazy time. But I think maybe we talk about actors going on strike and everything, and there's been some changes going on at Bungie that just so happened to drop the day we're recording this. So I think I
Yeah.
think we should cover it.
It's definitely it kind of caught me off guard, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. Let's just get into it. So this is the official article release from Bungie.net, the creators of Destiny and Halo. And also they're working on a new project called Anthem. No, not Anthem, Marathon.
Marathon, yeah.
Anthem's EA. I'm still in the EA article, my bad. So the title of this is from Pete Parsons. It is the new path for Bungie. This is on their official website, by the way. This is literally came out
And
on the 31st of July.
a statement.
So, yep, here we go. Official statement is what Pete had to say. This morning, I'm sharing with all of you some of the most difficult news we've ever had to make as a studio. Due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions, it has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. That means beginning today, 220 of our roles will be eliminated, representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce. These actions will affect every level of the company, including most of our executive and senior leader roles. They're cutting the high earners.
Mm, that's
Yikes.
it's a deep one, dude. They start cutting the
That's yeah,
executives.
you start
Woo.
that's like senior level people that have been around for a while.
Mm.
Ooh, HR guy probably cooked. As my HR marketing, stuff like that, socials. Anyway, so today is a difficult and painful day, especially for our departing colleagues, all of which have made important and valuable contributions to Bungie. Our goal is to support them with the utmost care and respect. For everyone affected by this job reduction, we will be offering a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and health coverage. Well, that's good. It's also kind of required in the United States,
It's
but I
kind
mean,
of federal law, but hey,
yeah, whatever. At least they said something. I realize all of this is hard news, especially following the success we have seen with the final shape. But as we've navigated the broader economic realities over the last year, and after exhausting all other mitigation options, this has become a necessary decision to refocus our studio and our business with more realistic goals and viable financials. We are committed to two other major changes today that we believe will support our focus, leverage Sony's strengths, and create new opportunities for Bungie talent. First, we're deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment. Oh, great. Work to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 12%, into SIE, which is Sony Interactive Entertainment, if you guys didn't know. Over the next few quarters, SIE has worked tirelessly with us to identify roles for as many of our people as possible, enabling us to together to save a great deal of talent that would otherwise have been affected by the reduction of force in force. Yeah, that basically means Sony bought us. We have reductive roles and we lost. So our guys are gone. That's basically what that means.
Hmm.
So that's 155 roles. Where are the other, what is that? 50, no, 45 plus 20 is 65 roles. So we'll see. Second, we are working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out our one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new scientific fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development. Ooh, that means they're losing a lot of key developers that
Hmm.
are working on a new project. And when you get people working on a new project, those are usually the most creative, innovative, and valuable people. So
Yeah.
yeah, it
Hmm.
sounds like Sony's taking all the best guys. Yeah. Okay. So this will be a time of tremendous change for our studio. Let's unpack how we ended up in this position. It's important to understand how we got here. For over 5 years, it has been our goal to ship games in three enduring global franchises. To realize that ambition, we set up several incubation projects, each seated with senior development leaders from our existing teams. We eventually realized that this model stretched our talent too thin too quickly. It also forced our studio support structures to scale to a larger level than we could realistically support, giving our two primary products in development, which is Destiny and Marathon. Additionally, in 2023, our rapid expansion ran headlong into a broad economic slowdown, a sharp downturn in the games industry. Our quality miss with Destiny 2 Lightfall and the need to give both the final shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both projects deliver at the quality our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious. Our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red. This is super transparent, dude.
Yeah. It
This
really
is
is.
not something that people would
Yeah.
really
Like you don't.
talk about.
Yeah. You never hear
This
this
is
when a reduction happens.
this
It's like,
is dude, this is leadership admitting like they really messed up.
yeah. This
I
is
think they deserve some flowers.
I
Not
like
like they do, but they don't,
yeah,
if that
like they
makes
deserve
sense.
some kudos at least for
They're
being
owning
honest,
up.
kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
and like, but this is see, this is the thing, Mike. This is the type of stuff you hear at like a GDC conference at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's like on a session that's like recorded that maybe 5 people will end up watching later. It's just like that's when
Yeah.
they admit the mess up and like what they did to
No,
change it.
they
So
posted this on the official website.
yeah, but this is like right when
Like,
it happened on the website in the statement. Like, let's just give it to you
yeah.
straight, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
mm,
I I would prefer this.
yeah.
I would prefer this, to be honest. If I'm working for this company. All right, so after this new trajectory became clear, we knew we had to change our course and speed, and we did everything we could to avoid today's outcome. Even with an exhaustive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product teams to resolve our financial challenges, these steps were simply not enough. As a result, today we must say goodbye to incredible talent, colleagues, and friends. This will be a challenging time at Bungie, and we'll need to help our team navigate these changes in the weeks and months ahead. This will be a hard week, and we know that our team will need time to process, to ask questions, and to absorb this news. Today and over the next several weeks, we will host team meetings and town halls, team breakdown sessions or breakout sessions, and private individual sessions to ensure we are keeping our communication open and transparent. That's a good idea, especially because every major competitive AAA developer or studio has unions being formed right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, how do we keep everybody calm so they don't form a union?
It's like
Bungie, that's what
let's
this
just
is.
be honest and upfront, okay? Let's keep things
Yeah, I mean,
transparent. Yeah.
that dude, like, this goes a long way, I think, for a lot of people. As long as they
Yeah.
understand, they might not be okay with it, but at least you understand. It's worse than being like super frustrated and confused and
Yeah.
not knowing what's going on. That uncertainty will drive you mad.
Yep.
All right, so couple more things that Pete had to say is Bungie will continue to make great games. We still have over 850 team members building Destiny and Marathon, and we will continue to build amazing experiences that exceed our players' expectations. There will be a time to talk about our goal and projects, but today is not that day. No kidding. Who cares about projects when you just
Yep.
fired 220 people?
Nope.
Or Sony took 155 of them and probably told you to take another 65. Yeah, but today our focus is on supporting our people. I think that's a good statement. I think that's I don't know. My initial thoughts are like they admit they messed up. They admit they messed up. They're taking full
Yeah.
responsibility. And I mean, dude, Pete Parsons has been with Bungie since 2002, man. He's been there a long
Yeah,
time.
so it's
So to
career.
him, this is pretty personal. He's losing people that he's known for a very long time.
Yep.
That like you've been in that company for that long, you probably knows all the 800 people. Like aside from the very new people, he probably knows them all.
Yeah.
I would think, and everybody in that Seattle office, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But you know what this reminds me of? Maybe you don't remember this, but maybe you do. Quiznos. Do you remember
I remember
Quiznos?
Quiznos. Yeah, yeah.
When was the last
Quiznos.
time you had Quiznos? They still exist.
Last time I had Quiznos was probably like 2013, 14. It was a long time
Okay.
ago.
But did you ever have a bad experience at Quiznos?
No, dude, I
Do you
loved
always think?
dude, Quiznos, they had, I will never forget, they had like an amazing like red wine vinaigrette, I think is what it was.
Yep.
Oh, it was so
Yeah.
good. It was like my favorite sauce they had. They
You know
put
what
it on their
happened in
sauce.
Quiznos though?
Oh, what happened?
Here's what happened at Quiznos. Basically, they popped off in the mid 2000s, and they were starting to like destroy Subway and stuff. They were like
Mm,
really getting up there
yeah.
with definitely in terms of like what's it called, quality. But what happened at Quiznos is that they did what Bungie did here. They expanded way too quickly
Mm,
in an economic environment where they thought they could sustain it, and then the markets like just plummeted. There was like a complete reversal in the industry,
yeah.
and they had to close like the majority of their shops. So now if you want to find Quiznos, there's like a few. There's one in like the Denver airport. There's like two in Las Vegas. They're like in primary destination
Yeah.
areas now instead of being on every corner like they used to be.
Mm,
Which is
yeah.
like that's just what happens. Like it's really unfortunate when that happens to people, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, I remember the
just
Quiznos I
poor
went to.
timing.
Yeah, exactly. That Quiznos I went to was in a gas station. I'll never forget that was like one of
Yeah.
those supplementary kind of restaurants in a gas
Yeah,
station.
yeah, it was like
Good.
and now it'd probably turn into like a Subway or
Yeah. Standalone.
uh what's that other like sub shop that's everywhere?
There's
There's
Jimmy
Witch
John,
Witch,
yeah,
Jimmy
Witch Witch, Jimmy
John's. Jimmy
John's.
John's is more
Yeah,
new to me.
yeah,
But yeah, Quiznos, it was really good. Subway, Quiznos, and then Mike's,
Jersey Mike's is
Jersey
down here.
subs,
Yeah, I know
Jersey
that's. I
Mike's.
don't know if
Yeah,
that's Jersey Mike's up north. It might be. I don't know,
it
but I know
is.
it's
It is.
down here.
But I mean, up north,
Yeah,
northeast is a different breed, man.
yeah.
Like
You don't need a sub shop
everybody.
because
No,
you don't
no.
need a chain
Everybody
because they're
knows the
there.
deli guy. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need a chain.
shop
You know.
chains up there don't really succeed like
Yeah.
they do down south. It's a
Yeah,
little bit
dude.
different culture.
I'll never forget when I went to a sandwich shop in Queens and I was like, bro, it was heavenly. Like I
Yeah,
walked out of there, I was like,
it's
dude,
gonna
this is
yeah.
fire. Oh man.
Dude, there's a couple of like, oh, I dream about lobster rolls in certain parts of Boston. I'm like,
Oh dude.
no,
Mm.
there ain't no chain for this, baby.
Oh man.
You
I
know
want
what
to
I
go.
mean?
I wanted to go to that lobster joint that Casey Neistat goes. So I think it's in Connecticut. I want to visit that one day
Oh
because it's
yeah,
like
heck
lobster.
yeah.
It's got to be fresh.
And they're
Oh,
cheap, dude.
yeah,
They're
dude.
actually like really
Mm.
cheap and really fresh and good. But it's different because
Oh,
you get Maine lobsters up there,
yeah,
and they have Canadian lobsters too. But I mean, it's easier for them to get it because they're
yeah,
so much closer.
yeah, for sure.
Everybody knows the guy. Everybody's
Yeah,
got the hookup.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Oh
so
man.
going back to what's going on at Bungie,
Yeah,
I think the workforce being decreased is partially Sony pressure, because
yeah, for
Bungie
sure.
has made enough money that yeah they probably win the red for a couple of months, but I still feel like they have the ability to sustain it
Yeah, I
for
mean,
like a year or so.
it's
Um,
not like they don't have reserves, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So Sony's probably putting pressure on it, doubling up on 155 roles, people losing jobs. Then 65, it seems, just doing basic math, 220 minus 150, 65, uh, comes down to people that they had to let go as well. That's a big chunk of your population within a company as well. 220 out of 1,000. I mean, losing 20%. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
So this, I think, terrible situation probably the best notice article that we've ever seen, like of the last, I would say 9 months of layoffs. This
yeah.
is the best
It's
like
it's
communication.
detailed. It's detailed for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think you just give that transparency up front. Yeah, I mean, you have to
you have
respect
to.
it. I mean, it's one of those things like not everyone does it. So, in
Yeah,
fact, 95% of people, of companies don't do it. So, um,
yeah, which is a shame because it's like, do you not respect the people that were working for you?
Yeah.
You know, why would you
Yeah.
not
It's like,
give? Why wouldn't you be honest? If
yeah.
you're doing something shady, then yeah, okay, don't say anything.
Then obviously,
But
like, yeah.
yeah, like for legal reasons, I guess. I don't even want to get that's a whole can of worms. But if you're like a decent human being, you need to let people know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like be for real with them. Don't
Yeah.
do what that
Yeah.
stupid idiot from that mortgage lender, better.com or whatever. He went on like a Teams meeting, got everybody into one Teams meeting, like a town hall, made it so they couldn't talk. And then he was the CEO talking to everybody and just basically told them they're all let go and fired,
Whoa.
which is
You can't even
insane.
unmute, baby. You can't even.
Yeah,
That's crazy. It's
insane.
another level.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah,
Anyhow, yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy, dude. I mean, I mean, it's cool to see the transparency, but again, it's like this is something. It either comes out in a Jason Schreier article like months down the line because
yeah.
he speaks to some anonymous employees and
Yeah, that's
let people
true,
know
and
that way.
it doesn't hit the same because it's all secondhand. This is
Um,
firsthand.
yeah, it's from
This
the
is the
horse's mouth, baby.
dude. Yeah, this is the dude at Bungie. And I know Bungie gets a lot of freaking hits, dude. Like a lot of people give him a hard time,
Yeah,
but I genuinely think maybe I'm a little bit biased Halo kid, but I've always felt like Bungie is just the better studio out of like compared to other ones. Like I
yeah,
would put Bungie up there above Activision Blizzard, above EA, above Ubisoft. It's like, yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
They have a good track record, man. It's so weird too. Like just thinking about the history of Bungie and how it was like predominantly Xbox and now it's Sony. It's like the shift that it's made throughout the couple decades. So it's wild. But
Yeah,
yeah, they make good products. Like Destiny is not a bad game by any means. So it's like they built another universe after Halo and it was successful and it's survived this long and it's gonna be coming up. I mean, the Destiny IP itself's what 10 years old at this point because I think it was 2014 it came out.
yeah,
So I mean, yeah, it's they maintain relevancy and I'm sure the last the final shape or whatever. I'm sure it probably wasn't what people expected. It's kind
no,
of they probably will run the well dry to a certain extent. I'm sure they'll probably still try to do more
agreed.
stuff, um, but I mean, with Marathon, it's like exciting to see new IP because it's Bungie, right? Like they've kind of they've done it well a couple times now with doing new IP. So who's to say they can't do it again, kind of thing. So I was just
Yeah,
hoping Marathon's good, but yeah,
yeah. I
dude.
mean, I they definitely have the talent and skill to create good games. That's beyond a shadow of my doubt. Like they just
Yeah,
know what they have the talent to do well. Hopefully that talent stays. I mean, this could be a
yeah,
big shakeup, and they could be like, you know, what, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go to like Epic. I'm gonna go to Rare or like whatever. Who
yeah.
knows? But yeah, one thing possibly to mention is doing a quick little Google search of Pete Parsons. Apparently, he spent a whole buttload of money on cars in the last like year,
Nice.
especially after the acquisition from Sony. He got a big payout,
Oh
but I mean,
yeah,
that's
I already
just
know he
what
did.
happens to executives.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's tough. It really is tough, but
yeah,
people are going to nitpick. They're going to be upset. Um, but I feel like this is the better way to handle it. I think is what we should leave with.
yeah. It's true, dude. I mean, yeah, some are going to SIE, so I'm assuming this is the thing is, and I don't know if the article mentioned it. Maybe it did. Like, is the 220 roles being eliminated? Is 155 of that from those 220, or is that a whole other 155?
The
Or,
so what I just read is yeah, 155 are roles that were basically represented in Sony and Bungie. So
interesting.
because they
Okay.
were doubled up, I
Yeah.
think what this is talking about is how 155 roles were the same at Bungie as they are at Sony because of the acquisition. So they got rid of the Bungie staff because that's just usually what happens when the bigger company absorbs a smaller one.
Yeah.
You get rid of the yeah, to keep the culture of Sony intact, not the
Gotcha.
new acquisition.
Yeah.
So the 65 more, my guess is because they were negative, Sony probably came down as like, you guys need to figure out how to balance the books now, which is
Yeah.
why it's like including most of our executive and senior leader roles. That tells me that okay, they're losing a lot of executive talent, a lot of senior developer studio managers, stuff like that, and they're replacing them with Sony people so that Sony can basically have the control of Bungie itself, which is going to be weird because regardless of what the culture is at Bungie, good or bad, it's going to change now.
Yeah. For sure. And I just have to know, dude, what do we think the odds are the next 6 months? We'll see an article that says Bungie vets start new studio. Like some of these senior
Oh,
people like
dude,
going and
two
starting their own
weeks,
thing. Like,
2 weeks,
oh man.
easy,
It's one of those
easy
things
two
like
weeks.
could you I mean, dude, if that's the thing. I feel like if some Bungie vets, like some ex Bungie vets, like started a studio, you know how many people probably want in on that because it's Bungie? It's like
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
dude.
people. So
Well, you know what blows my mind? Side note, like a lot of people don't know as much Halo stuff as I do.
yeah.
So Bungie people that got sick of Bungie and they got sick of Activision Blizzard when Activision Blizzard bought Bungie. They tried to leave and go back to Halo, and the people that own Halo now is 343 Industries.
Yeah.
So they tried to go back. The people at 343 Industries said there's an unspoken rule here, no Bungie people allowed, because they
Mm,
think that they can create games better than Bungie, which
mm.
is fundamentally just not true. Like,
Is
that's
that
factually
is that
just
like
not
a
true.
non-compete
It's an
discriminatory like like what's going on here?
definitely discriminatory because it's unspoken. You can't really
Yeah,
prove it.
yeah, I guess
Like
so.
apparently it's in like given in interviews or articles of ex 343 employees basically saying like
Yeah.
Bungie people can't work here.
I mean, I believe it, but
343. I mean,
so,
why else would you
yeah,
not hire certain people that are good for the game?
yeah.
You know,
You know, could make a
what?
good Halo game. Anyway,
That's impossible. Absolutely
impossible,
impossible.
impossible.
Yeah,
That's why
not
Halo
with
2
that
tournaments
studio.
are back, baby. Let's go.
Honest to God, can't give the official announcement, but the website for that should be launching in like a week.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll
I've
see.
heard things.
We'll
I've
see.
heard things. So, let's see.
Yeah, gotta keep it in
Oh
the realms
man,
though.
should we talk
All right,
about
cool.
AI? That we
Yeah,
just
we should.
talked about how actors are not liking AI.
Yeah, let's get it, brother.
Let's get into it.
Go all in on the AI, dude.
Listen. Jay Peters over at The Verge. Everybody, Activision's big contribution to AI is Call of Duty Warzone data. And I think we should get into this. So Activision is open sourcing data about Warzone's Caldera map. I think it's a fascinating use of AI. So let's discuss. Jay Peters says Activision is sharing open source data set pulled from Call of Duty Warzone's Caldera map for researchers to study and to help support AI model training. Quote, this first of its kind data set released for Call of Duty, now available in OpenUSD, contains the near complete geometry of Caldera as well as a collection of randomly selected anonymized time samples showing how players move around the map. Activision writes in a blog post. Kind of like the idea of that. Like, just like, I think there could be some valuable stuff in that from a gameplay perspective. Just like, here's here's our map, and here's how players interact with it, and here's kind of the various geometries we have throughout the map, but how it's constructed. Some
I think that's
fascinating stuff.
genius.
Fascinating
Yeah,
stuff. So,
I could study that forever.
yeah, as an engineer, it's like, like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh my God, what do you got?
So
Give
according to
me all the
Michael,
data.
yeah. So according to Michael Vance, an Activision SVP and fellow software engineer, it's one of the largest production validated open dataset releases from the gaming industry in terms of complexity of geometry and instance counts. It's also one of the largest publicly available OpenUSD file format for 3D content creation with backing from Pixar and Apple, among others. Datasets, period. So it's a big dataset. A lot of data, Mike. All nerds out here, a lot of data pulled from this map.
Oh, buddy.
Activision also believes this dataset provides excellent data for AI training and the evolution of content generation techniques, according to CTO Natalia Tatuchuk. I want to say Tater Chuck. It's not Tater Chuck. It's like very
Taters.
Tater.
Tatter?
Yeah, Tatar. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway, the video game industry, like many other industries, is exploring ways it could take advantage of generative AI despite concerns from developers. And this data could be used to assist with those efforts. If you would like to check out the Activision Caldera's data for yourself, Mike, you could download it from GitHub, link in the article. So,
That's pretty cool.
so
I like that.
It's sitting in the public repo on GitHub. So go there right now and download it.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, dude. It's always fascinating to me, kind of like, it sounds to me like this is a peek into like some data that has never really been seen, especially from like a battle royale map or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's kind of like Mask Off. It's kind of like heat maps, but way more intensive.
yeah, yeah. There's also some like screenshots in the article. It says the first screenshot, the kind of the cover photo, is player data from a single match of on the Caldera map, and you could see all the lines of different players throughout the map and where they traversed and kind of when they were in the air and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting to
If you
see.
s
Well
yeah, if
done.
you study this, this could, like, be really beneficial from a competitive standpoint.
That's true too. Yeah.
Like, links up the like, it can really help coaches or teams, at professional level. I don't even like, if you do this outside a game, like, do it to data collect, right? And then study it outside a game, it's not cheating, you're just studying the game. Very interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say one thing here. There was the only comment of this article, and it's a recent article. Um, is this kid's or this guy or this person, I should say. I don't know anything about them, but it says, "Unfortunately, I have zero interest in reliving the hellish time I spent in Caldera." I was like the only map. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a screenshot of the data set in the article as well. It says the actual Caldera map was removed from Warzone in September of
Yeah,
2023. So, it's past map.
correct.
But, I mean, it's the perfect time, I feel like, with the past map, just kind of show all the data. It's like
What's
if
possible?
you're gonna
Yeah,
release it, like now's the time kind of thing. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it's dude, yeah, I mean, I think from like a coaching standpoint too, if you do this for like an active map and like if you're actively competing, if you're a coach, like just seeing like if you got the data set to like a competitive match, like that would be crazy. You'd see just how people play and what tactics you may be missing and what's some stuff that you can use in your game and kind of improve your skill set. So this could be really valuable stuff, dude. Just using the right
Oh
context.
yeah.
So and it's cool to see just, it's one of the largest data sets of just multiplayer gaming. I feel like it's probably ever been released. So
Yeah.
very
It,
fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I'm mostly interested in it because it's like, what else can be done? What other games can this be useful for? Obviously, it's gonna be great for battle royales, but it's like, what else? I want to know what else. So,
um,
yeah,
I mean,
it's cool.
just for like arena shooters too. But the data wouldn't be as vast, but like it would
No,
still be just as valuable. It's like, oh, it'd be insane.
no, I mean, I'm also trying to think about like what I could use it for because I used to like when I was coaching Halo Infinite, I did stats for every single scrim, every single match. I would keep track of like where main players would go because each team has an early setup for every single round that they play.
Yeah,
Like one guy is more situated to go run for shotgun, the other one's more situated to go for rockets or like whatever type of power weapons. And it's like if you know what the team's gonna do at the start of every game, then you can wipe them or put them on a spawn rotation. It's like you can really start cascading, like
yeah,
really create an avalanche here to learn and to dominate people. And I think that's going to be probably the future of gaming is more data mining kind of stuff like this.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
For competitive though, for competitive.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Like I compare it to almost football. It's like game of inches. It's like you could be around a corner at just the right time to not like get noticed, or like if you spawn in and you're the closest to something, it's like, all right, your job's to go get that. Like you had the best advantage, to like get that power up or something. So it's like it can be
So
very kind of very data driven for sure. So I don't know, it's cool to see this kind of stuff. So good on
yes, sir.
Activision. So that good on them.
Yeah. Speaking of Activision, I think we can just jump into the next article real quick.
Oh baby.
Um, this one's pretty interesting. I liked it. Just it's kind of such a troll. And I
Yeah.
love it when developers start trolling their player pool. I don't think I want to go through the entire thing.
Yeah,
It's kind of lengthy, and we have a better article coming up that Kyle wants to go through.
baby.
And I kind of want to keep us under an hour. We're looking at weird timing right now, but anyways, so this is from IGN. This is Rebecca Valentine. We've covered I don't even know how many times, but so many times. The title of the article is Activision secretly turned off skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty as an experiment, and the players hated it. So for those of you that
Ooh.
don't know what skill-based matchmaking is, most games you have well, most games nowadays, I think it was originally invented by Microsoft. They called it True Skill 2.0 is what we're currently on. The first time I saw it implemented was Halo 5 or Halo 4. But the concept is that uh, you have two different ranks. You have your in-game rank where you win and lose, and it depends on like number going up and down that you can visually see. And then you have a hidden skill-based rank, which is basically programmed to figure out how you play. And once they understand how you play, they match you up with other people with similar skill-based matchmaking ranks, so that it becomes a sweat fest, like out of control sweat fest. So yeah, let's get into it. Rebecca starts off with the article by saying, "Pop into the Call of Duty subreddit on any given day, and you're almost certainly going to trip over a few people complaining about skill-based matchmaking and how it's ruining Call of Duty." But according to a recent study by developer Activision, getting rid of SBMM, skill-based matchmaking, I feel like it's easier to say skill-based matchmaking than it is SBMM,
Yeah.
would be far, far worse for the game as a whole, and it's got the data to prove it. In a 25-page white paper published last week, Activision reveals that it actually conducted an experiment in 2023's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, where it reduced skill-based matchmaking for some of its players, resulting in more players quitting games or not coming back to the game for more sessions. Okay, this is one of the things that people don't really understand what the point of skill-based matchmaking is, and it infuriates me because all I want to do is win, right?
Yeah.
So basically what happens is they try to stack the team up that's been winning the most in a row against a team that's better than them. Now, skill-based matchmaking works really, really well with a very large population of like active players. But if you don't have a large active population, you get a situation where you are the only good person on your team and everybody around you is trash. And then the other team has all not as good as you players, but definitely better than all your teammates. So it's just completely one sided games and it swings back and forth like a seesaw. It's not fun. But if you have a massive population where there's more people around the same rank as you, it's good. That's like the only time it's
Yeah.
good. That is the fundamental issue with skill-based matchmaking.
Mm.
And it's one of the reasons why people come back. Like I have a rule, you know this, and I kind of troll myself. I don't get off on a loss.
Nope.
I do not
Got
go
you
to
to win.
bed taking an L.
Got you to win,
But
baby.
if I've won 6 in a row, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
playing, you're just like, "Yo, dude, I'm not gonna get off. I mean, I'm on a win streak,
Yeah.
right?"
I'm chilling.
And yeah, and then you lose. And then you're like, "Well, I'm not gonna get off on a loss," and then you lose again. It's like, why do you keep losing? Why are the games not
Oh,
fair anymore?
yeah.
And it's because you won 6 in a row early in the day, and now you're playing again, and you got more people, like, at night playing than they normally would during the day. So it's like, okay, well, they now have people to stack against you to even out your skill-based matchmaking back down low,
Yeah.
and it's super messed up and very frustrating. It's almost like elo hell that people talk about in ranks, but it's not
Yeah.
it's not the same. Yeah.
Man.
I know I said I was gonna go through this quick, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah. The 50
Just wanted to
50,
give my
dude.
2 cents.
It's the 50
Yeah.
50, dude. Trying to
I'm
get
one
you.
of those nerds. Yeah, they want you at 50% win rate,
Nope.
50% lose rate
That's the goal.
constantly.
That's the
And the
goal.
idea is like win one, lose one, win one, lose one, so that you always crave more wins. That's why you
Yeah.
keep coming back to the
Keep
game.
you
You
on
come
the
back to the
game.
game, live service game, you keep spending more battle pass, keep buying more merch, all this kind of crap. You go to the tournaments, like
Yeah.
trying to hook you, dude. But if you grew up before skill-based matchmaking, that stuff doesn't work on you. You just get
Yeah.
mad.
Just like,
It's
well,
the young kids that are used to it. Like, this is how gaming's always been. It's like, no.
it's like,
No, I
ah.
always want to win, dude. I don't want this participation trophy shit. Anyways, I kind of went on a rant there. Let me get back to it. Matches made in heaven. Currently, Activision says the way matchmaking works in Call of Duty is by taking into account a number of factors. Top priority is player connection, quality, and the time it takes to enter a match. Oh yeah, that's the other one. They want you to enter the match as quickly as possible,
Yep.
obviously. But other factors include skill, platform, recent maps, and modes, and other things are considered too. And skill itself is a complex equation that takes into account individuals' match total kills, kill and death ratios, and killed deaths by enemy ratios to ensure players can't drop their skill levels on purpose by self killing. The one thing that always
Uh-huh.
pissed me off about first person shooters, skill based matchmaking, is they care more about your kills than anything else.
Yeah, individual
And
performance.
they do not care about team performance because like I personally try to play in a way that when I make decisions, it's for the betterment of my teammates so that we can win as a team.
Right.
I don't care about my stats. If I get that W, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
if you're training people to turn off their mics to not help their teammates, you're basically making everything a free for all,
Yeah.
and
It's
that
for
is not fun.
that
That's one
ain't
of the reasons I
fun.
hated Halo 5, dude.
Fun team
It's like,
games, dude.
oh, I can't make it to Onyx rank. Well, you're worried about winning. Stop worrying about winning. Only go for kills.
Yeah.
Ignore your teammates. Don't help them. Main
Play
slay.
like that,
That's
and there you go.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing in Call of Duty. But that's the thing. They don't play this way in the CDL.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. You watch comp matches,
because
it's a different thing.
yeah,
It's a different world.
yeah, it's a completely different world, and
Yeah.
that's why like you get these matchmaking kids that go to CDL and they get cooked. It's because it's not the
Yeah.
same game.
Yeah.
You're playing differently. They're playing
Yeah.
for wins. You're playing for kills. You're baiting your teammates. You're gonna lose.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's like, gotta play as a unit, man.
Yeah.
That's why the teams are so good, because they actually like strategize and
Mm-hmm.
want to play for
100%.
each other.
All right, so skill levels are recalculated after every match, and Activision says it's constantly trying to find a happy balance of ensuring players aren't seeing wild swings in where the game thinks that they're at, but also adjusts quickly if a player is having an off day or trying out a new loadout. In short, its skill calculations and matchmaking are finicky processes, but Activision is doing the best it can. In the study earlier this year, Activision ran a deprioritized skill test where the developers decreased skills importance in matchmaking in the algorithm, but did not shut it off entirely. It ran the test for 50% of its North American player base for a 2 week period in early 2024. I don't think 2 weeks is long enough, by the way.
Probably
And
not.
the results are pretty conclusive. All right, so you want to pull up that graph?
Yeah.
I don't even
See,
know if I want to go into it.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of agree
Really
with
hard to
you.
read.
I don't think 2 weeks is a significant enough subset. Personally,
No.
I feel like you should probably do
Uh,
longer tests or shut it off entirely. Like, I don't know why we're doing this wean off, but
yeah,
um,
yeah.
but yeah, I feel like there's probably different ways I could have done this to make it seem more definitive, but that's just me. I'm saying. I'm saying.
Yes. All right. So in Figure 3, we can observe the percentage difference in the number of players returning after 14 days between the treatment and control groups. With deprioritized skill, returning player rate was down significantly for 90% of the players. The 10% of the highest skilled players came back in increased numbers, but in aggregate, we see meaningfully fewer players coming back to the game. This effect may appear small, but this change was observable within the duration of the test. This will compound over time, just like interest, and will have a meaningful impact on our player population. This is a concern for all players, including the top 10%, as if this pattern is allowed to continue, players will exit the game in increased numbers. Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. Real live service, Battle Royale game, that's what happens. Eventually, a top 10% player will become a top 20% player and eventually a top 30% player until only the very best players remain playing the game. That is 100% what happened with Halo 5, by the way.
Yeah, see, I was gonna
Those,
say that sounds like Halo.
yeah,
That's what that sounds like.
yeah, that's literally what Halo is now. Those original top players will become increasingly likely to not return to the game. Ultimately, this will result in a worse experience for all players, as there will be fewer and fewer players available to play with. That is a
Dang.
fundamental. I don't think this has anything to really do with the study of like people start leaving, so more people start leaving. That's what like. Of course, that's how
Yeah.
arena shooters are played. That's what happens. I think it is cheap to say it's because we turn off skill-based matchmaking because Halo 5 never turned it off and people stopped playing.
Yeah.
That's just, and it became
It's
like what I said earlier, if you
yeah.
don't have the population, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah. It's dude. It's just so true. Like I think you're right on the money. It's like it depends on the quality of the game at the end of the day. And just for
Yeah.
turning off skill based matchmaking, that's not. I mean, it's just not a. I don't think it's a factor as much as they claim it to be. Because yeah, if the game's just not improving or there's just things fundamentally wrong with it, it's like
Yes.
people just aren't going to play. And no matter what
Also,
you do.
what was the so this is North American player base for a 2 week period in early 2024. What 2 week period? Because that matters. Was it the first 2 weeks of January when
Yeah,
people were on vacation
important. Yeah.
and then they went back to school, which is a large population of the COD base is a younger population? Or what was it spring break? People going out to the beach doing what they want to do in mid-March? Like
Yeah, it
was
plays a
it
factor for sure, right? Like,
yeah, like what 2 weeks here? Like there are too many that's why I was saying 2 weeks isn't enough time, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree. Like, but yeah, depending on those weeks, like I said, it could be a vacation week, and may have a rise of players, may have
Yeah.
less players. It's just yeah, dude. What are we doing in Activision? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing, Mike?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
no idea. But hey, how about I finish up these last two paragraphs real quick, and then we'll move on to the final article real quick. While single-digit percentages might not seem like a lot, given the sheer volume of participants over a relatively short period of time, there's a fairly significant difference in the drop-off. What's more, Activision expects that, based on other studies it has done over time, this would compound. If left unchecked, the lowest skilled players would disappear at higher volumes. That's a fact. Um, that is one thing that I can agree with. Skill-based matchmaking basically means that the lower skilled players can basically get the best teammates, so that they stick around, they get a win every now and then. Meaning only players of higher skill levels would remain. Yeah, maybe that sounds great for the higher skilled players. It does, but there's so few. But in smaller player pools, those who had previously been mid-level would now be the lowest skilled and would themselves start to drop off at higher rates. Basically, it's bad news for player retention all around, and retention is necessary to keep an online game alive. Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Spitting
that's basically
facts.
what I'm saying too. So there are skill issues apparently. The paper details other data as well, including a similar survey where Activision tightened the skill constraints in matchmaking and saw inverse results. Higher skilled players dropped off at higher rates. Yep, but lower
Mm.
skilled players stuck around more frequently. It also saw a higher rate of blowouts when one team wins a match with a significant higher score than the losing team. I don't know why I read that in parentheses. Just reading to read at this point. When skill was deprioritized, which players find less fun and lower kill per minute rates with lower skilled players. Basically, when skill based matchmaking was turned down low, the vast majority of the players had less fun and didn't come back to play the game more as frequently as when skill-based matchmaking was on. So if you crank skill-based matchmaking on, you notice that all the best players get all the worst teammates and they have a tough time, and that's not fun because it
Yep.
feels like you're sweating your face off every time you play the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to get in, just chill, man.
Yeah.
Just want to chill.
Sure.
Just want to shoot some bots, and it's okay. Sometimes you're the bot. Just get better.
Yeah.
Just get better. That's the thing.
This thing is a
So
podcast. What do we think for this question, though? Is SBMM good or bad for FPS casual playlists? That's the
casual,
keyword.
bad,
Casual playlist. That's what I'm
bad.
saying. Terrible.
100% bad.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Majority. Terrible.
Yeah. Everybody that said good, you're just bad at the game. And it's okay. Like no, it's like it's seriously okay. I play Halo 2 with like some of the best Halo 2 players ever, and these
Yeah.
kids smoke me.
Mm,
It's not close. I get destroyed.
yeah.
But if I go play like in casual playlists where people don't play as much Halo 2, I'm gonna smoke them. It's not
I'm
gonna be
gonna
close.
dominate. The audience is different.
Yeah.
Dominate.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. You can't it is what it is.
Yeah.
Just get better. If you
That's what
want
I'm
to
saying. Like, look,
get better, or take your L's and move on with your life.
if you want to sweat, dude, go to a competitive playlist. Whether it's like actual SBMM and you can try and improve. Like, hey, you want to sweat, do that. But yeah, I think casual playlist. Yeah, I'm just flavor. Just leave it alone. Just let the DJs be DJs. Let's go crazy. That's me though, man. Me though.
Yeah. All right, brother. Why don't you close us off with the last article for today, and then I'll wrap up the August video game releases.
Let's do it, dude. This is a long one, but look, I'm not gonna read everything. I just thought there were some points made in this article that could be relevant to people who are at all curious about how to survive in the games industry. And the article title was "How to Survive Until 2025 in the Games Industry." It's from gamesindustry.biz. James Batchelor wrote it. We cover him all the time. Developers and business leaders from across the industry share their advice on weathering the tumultuous times we currently face. Because the industry is, as we know, Mike, as we've covered on this podcast many times, it's not stable right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unions forming, a lot of being let go. Bungie's the latest victim, which we just covered today. Oh, man.
Yep.
So, let's see. Survive until 2025. This phrase still echoes around the games industry as it faces ongoing layoffs, studio closures. Develop Brighton this year. GamesIndustry.biz invited an array of developers, studio heads, managers, and more to share their advice on how to endure the turbulent times we're experiencing. Here's what they had to say. And we've seen this too. Seek funding outside the games industry. What have we talked about?
Yep.
Venture capitals, all these firms coming in, funding these.
Or like, like conglomerates that are basically getting together. Like, we want to specify of only getting money to indie devs so that they can create the game of their dreams.
Yeah. We're certainly seeing that in this industry. It's certainly been cropping up, especially over the past few months. Listen to your board of directors. It's an interesting one. Listen to the higher ups, Mike. Listen.
That's facts.
Caroline, I'll just read this first little bit. Caroline Marshall, CEO, creative director of As Dusk Falls developer Interior Night, said its most important thing she had done over the past 2 years was listen to the recommendations from her board of directors. While she acknowledged the smaller studios will not have a board, she urged them to seek similar people that can advise them. They are not friends. They're respected people coming from different industries and who have different skill sets than me, entrepreneurship, finances, and so on. They've seen more than me. I focus on the tree, which is the studio, while they look at the forest. So it's kind of like a little thing. It's like there's some truth to that, Get some outside opinion, some outside help. Certainly something to be said there. Take stock and pivot. That's another thing they said. Ella Ramona, COO of Fundamentally Games, said that the best thing in the current situation is to really examine what is truly causing problems for your business, and if need be, pivot into something different. And I haven't seen, I feel like I haven't seen too many games like studios pivot into something absolutely crazy, but a different game, perhaps. No. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Different like genre or something like that. Might not be too bad. It's certainly, I think, something up there to consider. Raise money when you don't need it. I think for any business, if you can find a way to get some money, especially when you're doing okay, it's like definitely it helps your chances of weathering those storms, because they're gonna come, baby. They're gonna come. So
you always got to be prepared. I feel like a lot of people kind of run their businesses like they run their personal finance. Whatever I got, I'm gonna spend. Live paycheck to paycheck. It's like, bro, maybe you should just kind of hold on to that for the rainy day fund. The economy's gonna tune down, like slow down. That's what happens. It's how the cycle works. Have cash on hand.
Yeah, sure. And the same goes for studios. Often a lot of studios raise money, spend it, and try to raise money when they don't have any. As soon as you close a round, make sure you start raising money again for the next part of your project. Don't wait till the end. Yeah, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were just talking about prepare for failure, Mike. It's like business 101 at this point. Prepare for failure. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna come, dude.
Of course it is. You're not gonna hit every time.
Yep. You don't bat 1,000, as they say. So yeah, got to seek partnerships outside the industry. This doubles back to stakeholders, right? Get advice from people outside your circle, and get some partnerships that aren't necessarily in video games, because that can certainly help a lot. Leadership must lead the way. Gotta get good leaders, Mike. What can we say? You gotta find the people who know how to forge a path. I'm saying, totally goes the same for the video games industry. This one's kind of relevant, Mike. Look after the people you still have. Oh man.
Ooh, that's a
fact. We're seeing some ramifications of that, especially over the past little bit. Also this, all these unions forming. It's like, look, they ain't gonna look after us, so we're looking after ourselves, baby. Let's go. But yeah, no. And it goes back to Bungie's statement too, of like they're gonna try and actively be transparent, especially with the transition of everything. So it's a good start. But there's probably some statements that came down from Sony and the higher ups that were like, hey, look, these people gotta go, so better hurry it up. But yeah, these people left the studio have also gone through months of uncertainty and have seen their friends' lives be completely upended, which will also have a massive toll on their well-being and ultimately their productivity, which affects your business, baby. It affects your games, dude. So yeah, dude, just help out. Just help these people out.
I like that. I like the next two.
Focus inward. It's like a meditative practice. Focus inward.
Reflect. What have you done?
The Team
What's
Artichoke.
The pattern?
Exactly. The Team Artichoke creative director said, at a time where gatekeepers are in a stalling pattern and acting like everything is okay, it's really easy to waste a lot of time operating based on guesses of what they want, or even worse, acting on what they say they want when they don't really know. Focus on yourself, your game, your team, and what you're trying to do. Stick to your vision, baby. You have something in place, try not to deviate, because often that deviation is just not going to be the product you wanted to make in the first place. And then you're screwed maintaining something you don't love, and then it's going to reflect directly in the product, and fans are going to see it, and people are going to be like, nah, this ain't it. So, focus inward. That's a good one, Mike. I like this one. Consider starting your own studio. We've already seen it. So, make them waves.
Everybody's doing it. It's like, it's going to be the new trend.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well.
You're going to lay me off? I'm going to destroy you. It's my own thing.
You going to lay me off? I'm going independent. Ain't no one telling me what to do. So, yeah, man. I think there could be a lot of independent bangers A lot of indie, baby.
Oh yeah.
Here's a good one. Find ways to grow your current games. If you have all these live service games, dude, you just let them go. Focus on the next shiny, bright thing. Why don't you take a look back at what you made? Dude, there's some improvements you can make. There's almost no game on the planet that has maximized its player counts, as developers were often enamored with the resplendent, I said that right, the glow of working on something new, surprising the urge and finding a small, medium addictions to the current titles can breathe life into an existing game. I'm certain every dev of even the modestly successful game has a mountain of suggestions from fans. Update your game and help grow your audience. Go, dude. The glow, Mike. The glow. It could be like, oh, the new shiny thing, the new game, dude. It's not worth it. May not be worth it.
I mean, these are good. These are good things to say. These are good advices.
Find new ways to use your skills. Hey, just personal growth. You know what I'm saying? Find new. You probably everyone's good at stuff. You have a lot of people in your studio that are good at a lot of different things. Like, just find a way to maximize that, make it efficient. Yeah, it's always nice. Help invest in companies if you can. This goes back what we were talking about with the Among Us devs, kind of starting their own publishing arm, and now they're helping to fund all these games and all these indie stuff. And it's like, look, if you've had some success, like, might as well make something happen. Try and get some new, fresh ideas out there.
That's kind of what I guess Epic Games started doing that too. I mean, so does Xbox Studios as well, getting the indie devs involved. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's so many funding opportunities, and I think it's the best thing a successful studio can do is try and branch out and do new things. Because also, if something pops off, or people make some games under your wing that pop off, like, everyone benefits, right? So it's like everyone wants to do good in that scenario. Ooh, this is something very specific. Beware of predatory publishing deals. Oh, baby, read those contracts. That's kind of what it's saying. Just read those contracts, bro. Because you never know. It's like those IP, all of a sudden it's like in perpetuity. It takes all your ownership forever and ever. It's wild, man. Just be careful out there, especially if you're a smaller studio. Prepare for the new normal. This is the last point. We'll read this last one. This is interesting. So, Revolution Software founder and CEO Charles Cecile finished off the session by reminding people that as and when things do settle, it won't be the same as it was before. It's tempting to just say survive until 2025, but I think we need to do more than that. We need to work out what the effects of AI will be, what the impact of all these incredible disruptive forces will be, so remain super cautious until this happens. He added that the current situation feels similar to 2008. There was a double whammy of financial crisis and digital distribution changing the games landscape. In the last great disruptive period, the biggest publisher in the world, THQ, was bankrupt within 3 years. The developers were able to thrive because they could find niches that emerged and haven't been seen. I'm absolutely sure that that's what's going to happen. So when things get better, it will be different. Make sure small developers that you can exploit those niches. It will be fantastic. We'll need a little strategy there. Good way to finish that. Yeah, dude, that's the biggest thing, dude, is finding those niches, right? Because as a small studio, if you could find something different and just kind of like off the beaten path that just hits the right audience, I mean, the rest is history. So,
yeah, I mean, that's the truest statement you could possibly make, especially in this like art that's been commodified industry that is the game industry. It's good advice to live by, and I think this is a really good article written for developers.
Yeah, if you're a
Really
small
good
studio,
insight.
it's like these people have experienced it and been through it, and just like, look, this is your best chance at surviving. So, and it's really it's even like, just from it's got a lot of parallels with just personal development, right? Of like, okay, you need to like take inventory of what you got and like, see where you can improve there before you start like branching out and trying new things, like drastic new things, So, I think it's definitely good advice to live by. So, way to go, dude. Brighton devs. Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome to see. Awesome to see some cool stuff like that. I think it's I always love articles like this because it's like, it's different, but I think it gives perspective for us and people listening. Like,
what it's like on the other side of things from the people that actually make the games.
Exactly, dude. Speaking of people that make the games, Mike, we got August games.
I like it. So yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty cool. It actually reminds me of a lot of articles that I end up seeing on LinkedIn. This is a very LinkedIn
Yeah, like the
post. You know what I
the
mean?
threads and yeah.
Yeah, but it's still cool. It's still pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's really the articles that we have for this week. You want me to just go
I
ahead
think
and jump
so.
into August video game releases?
I say we do it. Let's let the people know. What could you play
Okay.
this month? Brand new.
This month, we got a couple of heavy hitters here, a couple that I'm pretty excited about. But we'll jump into it. I usually do this based on uh, top games for the month and just go basically 1st of August, 1st of the month, all the way to the last of the month. So to start, there's Mars 2120. I actually don't know much about it, to be honest. But I do know that it's coming out the same day Star Wars Bounty Hunter is coming out. That is both of these games are going to be on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, PC, PS4. I almost said PC4, PS4, and Switch. There is World of Goo 2. Do you remember this crazy looking game, Kyle?
World of Goo. I think
It's
so. Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. I think
It's the
so.
let me see if I can pull up an image to really describe it in detail. World of Goo.
World of Goo.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like an indie game.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
initial release is
yeah.
yeah, 3 days. Basically the plan for this. I don't know how else to really describe it. It's just a weird indie game that we saw going into the Nintendo. It's like a side scroller puzzle kind of platformer game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Signy. Yeah, Signy all guns blazing PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. That's August 6th. Same day as August 6th is Level Zero Extraction. Um, and that one's on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and X. And I think it doesn't have an official date on what do you call it on PC yet. I think that's the TBA for my work, my notes
I
over
see.
here.
See.
Yeah. One of the cool games that's going to be coming out in 2 weeks is Stormgate. That's on PC. That one's had a whole buttload of promotion coming out on it. Have you actually seen anything with Stormgate, Kyle?
Don't think so. Personally, Storm Gate.
Let me see. Let me see what the official information is on it. It is an upcoming RTS video game
Yeah.
developed by Frost Giant Studios. And Frost Giant Studios, I believe. Let me. I don't want to give anybody. I thought they did more than former Blizzard developers. That's what it is. Former Blizzard developers Tim Morton and Tim Campbell. They founded it in 2020 with the intention to build an accessible real-time strategy game. So Morton previously worked on StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Voids. He was the production lead, and Campbell worked on Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne, as the campaign lead designer. So they raised 5 million in seed funding, an additional 5 million in March 2021, and 25 million in January 2022 Series A funding. So
Uh,
they got the funding. Stormgate is definitely highly anticipated by people that are familiar with those two games. So definitely something to keep an eye out. And then we have that's yeah, August 13th, by the way. Then we have August 15th is Dredge, the Iron Rig. This one I remember being really interested in, and let me give the description here. So the Iron Rig is the second official expansion for Dredge, a cosmic horror fishing adventure with a sinister undercurrent. This content adds a new constructible destination with its own story, items, and adversities that can be experienced at any stage in your playthrough. So you gather, craft, and deliver your way through the mysteries of the Iron Rig, revisiting areas from Dredge to investigate ancient disturbances stirring in the deep. So, if you don't know what a rig is, an oil rig out in the middle of the
yeah.
ocean. That's
Okay.
what they mean. Then we have okay, that's PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS4, and Switch. Then we have some bigger hits coming in. First of all, the biggest one I think that everybody knows about is Madden NFL 25. That one's coming August 20th. I think that is the preseason week 3 for the NFL.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Typically, when it lands.
Yeah. hmm we'll see how that goes. And that one is on all platforms, basically, except for the Switch, August 16th. 4 days after that, we have two games launching. One of them,
Maybe.
one of them is Black Myth Wukong, and that one is like a Souls-like game. And if
Yeah,
I can remember correct, is this the one that's based on the book? Yeah, it's inspired by the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. Um,
maybe. Those look
dude,
good.
it looks really good.
Yeah. A lot of hype
It's
around
got
this.
me intrigued. Yeah, so apparently on my list it's coming out on PC and PS5, but it's also scheduled to come out on the Xbox Series X and S at a later date. So something to keep
Mm,
you an eye out for.
okay.
Definitely check out the trailers. They look amazing. The next one is Dustborn, which is a single player short story driven action adventure game. And apparently it's about hope, love, friendships, and robots. We've seen this trailer, I think, 2 years ago at the Summer Games Fest. It looks pretty
Yeah.
interesting. It looked kind of cool. That one's August 20th, like I said, on all platforms except for the Switch. And the next one is only on PC and PS5. It's August 23rd. It is Concord. Now, Kyle, do you remember what Concord is about?
I just remember it was very much an Overwatchy kind of
Yeah.
shooter. So
Yeah.
I
It is
remember.
a 5v5 hero,
Yeah,
like first
hero.
person shooter
Yeah,
game.
hero shooter. That's it.
Yeah. It is developed in Unreal Engine 5. It is by Sony. Ryan Elias is the director. And if I remember correctly, let's see. Fireworks. I'm trying to figure out what else he did for context, but I remember it being really good. Anyways, I'm not going to waste anybody's time on it. It's the first game that's being developed by Firework um, Studios and Firewalk. Yeah, Firewalk Studios. Looks pretty good. The studio was developed in 2018, so they've been working on this for a while. We've seen a lot of I think trailers for it. Never
Yeah.
really got into it yet. Then we have, just kind of wrapping up, a couple more games here. We got Gory Cuddly Carnage. That's all platforms, August 26th. World of Warcraft: The War Within, another Warcraft expansion, PC, obviously, August 26th. Then we have Monster Jam Showdown, all platforms, August 29th. The same day, we're also getting Squirrel with a Gun.
It's like
Pretty
Brotato,
interesting.
baby. It's
Yeah, it's
goofy.
gonna be wild. It's gonna be very goofy. It's gonna be fun. It's on PC. It's August 29th. It will come to console, new gen console, November 2024. Finishing it off, a couple of more games. August 29th, we have Visions of Mana. And I believe, is this the one that is the shooter where you have like spell casting abilities?
I think it reminded me of the um
Oh,
like a
I got it.
Final
Hold on.
Fantasy, like
Yes.
kind of that
Yeah, yeah.
sort of vibe.
To remind people, this is basically Visions of Mana is an upcoming action role playing game developed by Oka. I think that Uka Studios, and published by Square Enix for PS4, PS5, Windows, and Xbox Series X and S. It is the fifth main title in the Mana series and is scheduled for release worldwide on August 29th. First announced in 2021, is the mainline game. So basically, it's set in a fantasy world where players take control of Val, a young man from the fire village of TNA, with the childhood friend. You undergo pilgrimage to the second mana tree, which controls the flow of mana throughout the world. And yeah, it looks like a hero action role playing game. And the art style looks amazing. I
Sure does. Music
probably not.
banger.
Yeah, oh, it's always gonna be a banger. Yeah, but the demo is currently available and has been for the last 24 hours to 48 hours of this week. So you can go check out chapter one if you would like,
Oh,
whenever
very
you
cool.
want.
Very cool.
And probably one of the ones that's going to be getting the most attention in terms of marketing is Star Wars Outlaws. That's at the end of the month, August 30th. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. I don't think I really need to tell people what that's about.
Yeah.
You are an outlaw in Star Wars. basically, yeah. And that's all the games that are worth really mentioning in the month of August.
Yeah. Star Wars Outlaws, looking forward to that one. See what the reviews are. Squirrel with a gun. I mean, come on. Need I say more?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes, sir.
yeah, Conquered. I'll be interested to see how that plays out because I know it's like it's one of those games. It's a hero shooter, so it's like it could be hit or miss. There's already like tons of hero shooters out there, so it's like, are you able to
Yeah.
translate some of those players to a new one? If it does enough interesting things, it might. But that's something I'm just gonna wait and see.
I think they are launching at the perfect time because a lot of people have lost interest in Overwatch. Um, I think there's a player base that never really transitioned over to Valorant. They rather stay on Counter Strike. So this
Yeah,
could be a new transition into that weird niche that Overwatch had.
yeah,
So if this like Concord could hit, it could miss completely and be a total flop though.
yeah.
It really could go either way.
Easily. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm curious to see how that goes for sure. Dustborn, it's definitely giving those Hi-Fi Rush vibes in terms of art style
Oh yeah.
and like kind of a beat 'em up. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how that plays. I think there's an audience for Hi-Fi Rush, so there's probably gonna be an audience for this. So I'll be interested to see that. The only thing I'll say about Madden NFL 25 is like I'm surprised it's still in the old gen. It's still on PS4 and Xbox One, which is like, all right. We haven't moved on
Mhm.
to that yet, but standard Madden game. Star Wars Bounty Hunter, I'll be curious to see kind of how that plays. I guess like the kind of re-release of that. So just see how it plays on the newer gen and all that. That should be interesting. So those are kind of, I think those are really the only games I think that I was like fascinated by personally. And Black Myth Wukong, I'm curious to see how reviews do with that because
Yeah,
another Souls like
Journey to
baby.
the West, bro.
Mm,
I mean, that's got to go on the list of things I got to play,
yeah,
and I need to start chopping off the list of items already. I currently have 4 games in the works right now that I have to finish, dude.
man.
All in
Now,
progress.
now is the
So
time, Mike. Is the
it
time.
is the time, dude. I finally have free time. It's so good.
It's the time. Let's
It's-
go.
wait, what is it like Rafiki and Lion King, where he's like scrolls on like the drawing? He's like, "It is time." I
It
absolutely
is.
love it when
It
he gets
is.
all
It is.
geeked out of his mind. That's the original geeking, by the way.
Original, dude.
100%.
OG.
He's that dude. But yes,
So
sir.
good.
Yeah, man, it's looking cool. It's looking good. Yeah.
Sure is, dude. Hey, man. We've delivered our news. We've informed the people.
Now
So
we
that we
gotta let
can
him go.
vote. Have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Sorry,
My
guys.
dinner's ready. It's 9 o'clock. It's actually
Mm.
past 9 o'clock, and I got food waiting on me.
Oh, dude. Gotta
So
go eat.
let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let the people know the usual. We got socials down low if you want to say what's up to us. We got a Discord that's been inactive. We got to get it more popping. But in
Sure
the
do.
Discord, the one thing that's actually worth like clicking on Discord for is we have a bot that posts all of these articles constantly, and you can go subscribe to them. We even have like a link you can add to your phone. I've been using it every now and then. I don't know if you're still
Yeah.
using it or not,
Yeah,
Kyle,
dude.
but it's actually like super convenient.
Yeah, dude. I love it.
Um, yeah, and I guess the last thing to really add is the usual. I mean, if it's your first time here, you're watching us on video, or you're listening to us on the pod, or whatever, you don't have the full time to watch or listening or anything, just we got links in the description below for everything you should check out and timestamps for what articles we covered. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Do you want to add anything, or should I just we good?
Nah, dude. I think we're good, man. I'm excited, dude. I'm gonna hopefully get to play some games this week.
Ooh.
Some sports, watch some
Please
Olympics.
do, man.
Oh man.
Yeah. Have you played
Uh,
Unchained yet?
yeah, like the 4 player game.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Man, I want to play with people that haven't played it before. So
yeah.
I
I
know a
played
couple
like
of degens that would be hilarious to play with. So
yeah. I think
I'll probably ping them.
I played through like the first like third. I think there's like 3 checkpoints kind of throughout it. Like to like maybe the
Hmm.
first or maybe like halfway through. I don't remember how far I got, but yeah, I've already played it. So
Yeah. Alrighty.
that's content though. It's content.
It is. It is. I've been watching a whole bunch of videos and I saw like the first bit. I think I was watching. I don't remember who I was watching play it, but I was laughing.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I was like matchmaking for the original Halo 2 because they brought the servers up,
yeah.
and I'm just sitting there. It takes a while to get a game loading, and I'm just other monitor over here, and I'm watching. I'm like, this is hilarious. Then the game starts. I'm like, I'm kind of bummed. I got to play the game now. I just want to watch the video.
Yeah, dude, it's good times.
Yeah. Yes,
Times.
sir. All right. Well, I think that's enough of our episode of the M2 podcast. Already said everything that you guys needed to know, so we'll just let you go. That rhymed. Heck yeah. Uh,
Mm.
anyways, I'm Michael Anthony, Kyle Heath, right here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. See you next week. Peace out.
Oi.
Keep on gaming.
Oh, damn.